Great. Welcome, Mr. Ralph. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so excited to have you because you've helped several people reprogram their minds to stop smoking, to lose weight, to live in peace and in positivity instead of stress and anxiety. And I'm so excited to have you here today. So, welcome and thank you.
Well, I'm excited to be here today and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I would love to start off by asking you, how did you learn about hypnosis, get into hypnosis, and what's something that you understand about the subconscious mind now compared to when you first began?
Well, I read something about hypnosis and it was like a white light moment and just a snap, and that had a big impact. And the news came and did a report on me. So ever since then, I continue to help people through hypnosis. But my friend did tell me you're not certified in this. I was like, I never even thought about it. So then I went for a 3-year training, practice hours, and I found out that I was doing things right on target, except it helped me hone um, the craft a little better. And what I've learned is that the subconscious mind is extremely powerful. And when we develop, we can live the best life imaginable.
That's amazing. And I've heard all these things. This just popped in my head. I've heard all these things about manifesting and how you use your subconscious to do things. How is that possible? And how is it so powerful? How does that work?
Well, manifesting through the subconscious and through hypnosis is based on the feelings. So you would think of what you want, then you would identify how it makes you feel. Then we would let go of what you want and keep the feelings and enhance that in the subconscious mind. And it will align to keep you feeling that way. So whatever makes you feel that way will be manifested so that you continue to enjoy those feelings and stay on that frequency.
Oh, very cool. So the frequencies they attract, I've heard it's like magnets.
Yes, it's not the actual object, but is how it makes you feel.
Very cool. I love that perspective on it. And I've also been really curious about like what kind of hypnotic programs are running in people's lives without us realizing it. Cuz I know that I've heard that we're always in like a trance state. Is that true?
We may be daydreaming, but we're not always in a trance state. We just may be daydreaming. And the best way to describe it is your mind is made up of 15% conscious and 85% subconscious. So you see how much bigger it is. And the best way to describe it is when people first learn how to drive a car, they will pay a lot of attention, foot on the brake, key ignition. Eventually, that behavior goes into subconscious. So anytime you get in the car, subconscious says employ this behavior. Just like so many times, anytime you go to work, you feel depressed. Anytime you see a certain person, you feel depressed. Anytime you hear a piece of music, you feel depressed. So the subconscious mind is already programmed, but you learn in your conscious and subconscious absorbs it. And anytime you become confronted with that attitude, feelings, or behaviors, maybe negative attitudes come up. So what I do is I go into the subconscious mind to rearrange the script so that when these negative attitude, behaviors, and feelings come up, they're replaced with positive ones.
Oh, beautiful. So how are those negative behaviors and attitudes first initially created in our minds?
Well, we may have experiences that reflected negatively, and then that was stored in the subconscious mind. We may have conceptions as to the water. I'm afraid of the water, so anytime I go near the water, I start to feel negative. Then you may be born with certain fears in your mind that you don't understand, fear of the unknown, and then there's a fight or flight mechanism. And usually it's flight because people um, repel from things that they don't like. Like they touch a hot stove, they pull their hands away. So it's learned behavior, it's preconceived notions, and it can affect us to the point that it can paralyze us. Like many people don't want to leave their apartment because anytime they leave their apartment, they feel stressed. And the more they do it, the more stress they feel to the point that they're stuck in the negativity and they cannot move forward. So I help them move forward. and not only help them move forward, but I help them reach their authentic self so that they have better lives.
Wow, it's fascinating to me that people can get stuck in such a state of being. Do you
Yeah,
have any
let me
examples?
ask you something.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of anything, or does anything make you nervous?
Well, a lot of kids my age right now, we're taking the SATs, so that's something I'm nervous and excited about.
Okay, well, I actually work with students in academic performance, and I help them reduce stress and anxiety, but also make their brain more powerful so that they're able to absorb information and get higher grades. So I've done that with nursing students, and other students that were failing. We have the session, and I make their brain like a sponge, being able to absorb information, and when they need to regurgitate it, it comes out easily and naturally. So it makes the study process much more easier, and it makes their brain more powerful to absorb information. And
That's
their grades go
amazing.
up.
Wow,
Yeah,
can you
and their grades go up.
and their grades go up, and so would it work if, like, students were listening to this, video and you hypnotized over the screen and for them, and would it, like, change their grades for the SAT and help them?
Well, no, because the subconscious is very unique to everybody. Um, None of the minds are similar. They don't work the same. They're different beliefs. They're different thought process. So what I do is I have a thorough interview. We do a thorough analysis to find out exactly what's going on, and that allows me to see how your mind works. I pick up energy, so I can tell a lot of times without too much conversation, but I observe the tone of your skin, the tone of your voice, the fluttering in your eyes, how many times it blinks, and that allows me to see how your thought process is working and how your mind works and the conversation we have. Then that lets me to create the perfect induction, and induction are the words that I use to hypnotize somebody. So it's very specific to anybody, and it's not just like everybody could do the same hypnosis. However, they can do the same one to relieve stress or anxiety. Very, very simple type of benefits. But for things like that, it has to be one on one.
Wow, so you, like, look at the tone and the tone of the voice and the energy and it make it very, very specific.
Yeah, it has to be very specific for it to work.
Wow,
Because
so can
no, the subconscious mind, if I'm not careful and I don't establish a relationship with the person or understand what they're doing, the subconscious could say, I'm not opening up, I'm not letting you in. So I need to be very precise, very careful. So it's like a very involved process, and I'm just explaining it to you in simple terms, but it's much more complicated. And yes, I have a peak performance program that helps people get better grades, reduce stress and anxiety, and move forward in academics. Also for sports too, I have a program for that helps athletes perform better.
very cool. Can you go into more in depth about, like, what you look for and what different tones mean to you and how you see that?
Well, a lot of times when somebody speaks about fear, their voice goes up. A lot of times when they speak about something that really is powerful in their mind, the look in their eye changes. Their blinking changes a little bit. The tone of their skin becomes a little redder. So it's just like an example is when you get embarrassed of something, your tone turns, usually your skin turns red. Well, it's kind of like the same concept, except a little bit more magnified.
Wow, so how do you use that to then build a relationship?
Well, we're speaking back and forth, so the relationship is being built that way. People open up because it's very private and confidential, and they develop a trust toward me. They see that I am genuine. They see that I understand what's going on, and I pick up their energy, so they kind of feel very comfortable, and they say, this person knows exactly what's going on. Once we do that, then the relationship has been established, and then the hypnotic process can take place because of trust, because I know how your mind works, and I developed the perfect induction. And inductions is just the words I use to hypnotize somebody. And when you're under hypnosis, you're always aware what's going on. And like, no, I cannot make you do anything you don't want to do, like in the movies. And it's like an advanced form of meditation, like trance like, where your conscious mind goes to sleep and your subconscious opens up.
Ah. Yeah, I think a lot of people have misconceptions about what they think hypnosis is.
There's a lot of misconception, and the movies show different forms of what hypnosis can do, and usually it's not right on target. You need to have somebody's approval before you can hypnotize them. You just cannot hypnotize them. One misconception also is that there's some people that cannot be hypnotized. I've never had that problem except one lady who wouldn't close her eyes because she didn't want to let go of control. And of course, you need to close your eyes.
Mm.
And I'll show you something. One of my prized possessions, what I do is I usually start with a pendulum and I start counting backwards from 20, and this starts to put them in the hypnotic process. So this is my prized possession. And I guess this is what comes closest to what they show on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen, like, when they have the watch and they go like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So what
Well,
does that do? How does that get you into hypnosis?
Well, if you keep looking at it, your eyes start to focus and your mind starts to um, only concentrate on what you're looking at, and that starts to relax you, starts to let all the noise out of your brain. It allows your mind to open up and to focus and to be balanced. And when we get to that state and I start counting from 20 to 0, you are starting to go into the hypnotic process. So this is a tool to help you focus and open up the processes of calmness and of peace.
Wow. So if anyone has a pendulum and they know the person and they have a good relationship with them, can they hypnotize them?
No, because like I said, you need to know about their subconscious mind, and the counting may be slower, it may be faster. My tone of my voice may go down a little bit. The speed of the pendulum goes a little faster, a little slower. But if they do it by themselves without knowing this, yeah, the other person will start to feel a little bit like calm and peaceful. And they won't go into hypnosis, but they'll start going into a very relaxed state.
Wow, that's fascinating. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Uh, when it comes to people by themselves, is it possible, like, to hypnotize yourself?
Well, there's self-hypnosis, and that's like a meditation, and they're guided meditations. However, it should be simple because while you're under hypnosis, you should be guided because sometimes the information that's presented is not correct and it's not specific to the way you think. So it's like a general hypnosis and it's kind of more like meditative and to relax and to be calm. And it can be something to allow you to feel good. But when it comes to working like specific issues like fears, like getting the grades, it has to be custom to your brain. So self-hypnosis tapes, they're okay, but just on a very light level you should do them.
Wow. Okay, so the specific suggestions, what do you do to get them to stick to your subconscious brain? Because I know that some suggestions, like, they might wear off after like a week or two, but how do you make it really, really stick to the person?
Well, it just goes with the pre-work that we do so that I know how your mind works and what will absorb. And this is not magic. It's an improvement process that allows your brain to become much more powerful. Um, but when I say it's not magic, like I'll give you an example. I had a person, a man who wanted me to make his wife fall in love with him again. that's not possible. Plus, I took an oath of ethics, and what I could do is I could empower her to see things clearly so that she can make a decision of what's best for her, but not to make somebody fall in love again. A lot of people think it's magic, and it's not magic. It's very powerful, and it allows people to live their best lives, but it's a process that they go through. After the first session, you do see a shift of improvement.
Wow, that's a fascinating story and kind of funny that someone wanted you to hypnotize someone to fall in love with them.
Yes. Now, there are certain things that are permanent, like stop smoking. I've been very successful to help people stop smoking, then they don't smoke again. Um, but we have to work with the physiological aspect and the hypnosis aspect because you're still going to feel physiological symptoms like depression, tiredness after you start smoking. But the subconscious mind has the strength to say no, but it's kind of combined. That's what I mean that it's not magic.
I see what you mean. Is it
A lot of
kind
people
of
think it's magic.
Yeah, well, I can see why it kind of seems like magic sometimes.
I mean, it the results you get are really incredible and unbelievable. So you could say, "Oh my God, I just changed," but it's because of the way your subconscious thinks, and because I know how your subconscious works, because of the conversation we had before, because of the physiological symptoms that you're showing. So, to answer your question, that's how it can be a powerful hypnotic induction with the pre-work that we do.
Wow. So I'm hearing that the rapport is like one of the biggest aspects of how impactful the hypnosis actually is.
Yes, and it's very advanced rapport if we're going to use that word. Yes, absolutely.
Very cool.
Because remember, it's teaching me, well, the trust is being developed, but it's teaching me by the words you use how your mind works. I'm also, as I said, observing the tone of your skin. I'm observing the words you use and the pitch you use, and when you raise your voice and when you lower your voice. So all those combined is saying, oh, this person's subconscious, this is what triggers them, this is what they can absorb, this is what makes them change, what makes them feel things. And then that allows me to create the perfect words for you and only for you. Very specialized um, hypnosis. It's very specialized therapy.
Wow. So it sounds like you have a really, really deep connection with your customers and clients.
Yes, absolutely. Very deep connection.
Wow. So if you were to give one tip to maybe like not a hypnotherapist, but just anyone in general when they're meeting someone new or have a friend or something, what is one thing that you do to create a really, really strong bond and have them trust you and their subconscious mind open up to you?
Well, see, I'll tell you about that. I would say just be genuine. That's all. And listen. However, when I'm doing or I have the hypnotherapy, if I'm in that role, I become hypersensitive to everything that you do, like every single word. I don't know how it happens. It's just under when I'm under hypnosis, and I can tell everything about you. Plus, I can feel your energy. But when I'm not doing hypnosis, I'm not like that. Like right now we're speaking, like I don't that doesn't come out in me. It just kind of comes out when I'm doing hypnosis, when I'm in that mindset. But um to establish rapport, be genuine and listen and ask questions about the person. And also stop and say, how are you doing? Do you want to ask me any questions? Just make them feel special, you know? Because a lot of times when we have conversation, all we do is talk about ourselves. Um,
Yep.
and we forget to say, how are you doing? Very, very important part of a conversation.
Yeah. I see that and
But yeah, hypnosis is amazing. I have helped people change lives, have them do their be their best selves. Um, Athletes, students, business people, mindset transformation, which goes from a negative mind, totally cannot move forward, stuck in life, to one that's very happy, very positive, very confident, and can move forward. I help business people do better in their jobs, like salespeople, public speaking, their mind, to get rid of the noise. I'm sure when I say noise, a lot of people can relate. Just like a lot of negative thoughts, I help them get rid of it. And when we do that, we have clarity. So they're able to take leaps and bounds forward because they're walking with intent. And it just helps them live a better life and be more powerful and just more successful all around.
Wow, it sounds like hypnosis has very diverse things you can apply it to, and anyone could benefit from it.
Yes, yes, anyone can benefit from it. People who are very negative go to positive. People who have a lot of noise in their head, we cure the noise. Like I said, being successful in your trade, getting grades, student athletes to perform better. Also, pain management. I work with people who may have cancer and the medication is not working. So I help them reduce the pain. I've developed a process, and that's when you can actually feel your energy and inside, and we can concentrate that energy on certain areas of the body like the back, and it will reduce the pain. So there's aspect of hypnosis that can translate into physiological benefits. Then there's stop smoking, weight loss, I can't sleep, just everything hypnosis can help with.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your time with me today.
Absolutely,
Amazing, and
absolutely.
I know
I
more
love
people can
this. I'm
find your
very
book.
passionate about it. I just love hypnotherapy and what I do
Yeah,
for people.
that's awesome, and I know more people can find your book and your website, positivepowerhypnotherapy.com, right?
Yes, my contact information. What I did is I wrote a book, an ebook, and it talks about the basics of hypnosis. Like I've been trying to explain it in a very simple term. Well, this book even gets more involved with it, like the ethical part of hypnosis, the color red, which is very powerful. It also has a hypnotic induction where you can try yourself, like a self hypnosis for relaxation. And just to feel better all around.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing that, and are you ready for our question from the last guest?
Yes, why not?
Cool, cool. I loved this
Ask.
one. She asked, "What advice would you give to your younger self knowing what you know now?"
Wow, that's a very powerful question. What advice would I give to my younger self, knowing what I know now? Just to be more easier about life and not take things so seriously and just to relax. And just do the best I can and appreciate mistakes because that's the ability that you have to learn. And most important, progress and not perfection.
Ah, progress and not perfection.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you again, Mr. Ralph, for coming on the Listening Bee. I learned so much today, and I'm excited to see what the audience thinks about this.
Well, thank you. And if you have any questions or whatever, just please feel free to get in contact with me. And this is wonderful that you have such a great show.
Thank you.